I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my time, but I've never seen anything like this. Behold, the world's tallest basket! I'm gonna be honest with you, I left Virginia today to drive through Ohio. I didn't even think I would stop. I was feeling kind of grumpy, didn't know if I would film, and then all of a sudden, along the side of the road, I caught sight of this 7-story wonder of America. And I thought, nope, forget about whatever plans I had. I have to stop here. And now that I'm seeing it in person, there's only one thing I can say. Would you look at the size of that basket? That is not normal right there. 7 stories tall, more than 200 feet wide across at the top. And look at the size of those handles up there. It's like something from another world. When you catch a glimpse of it, you're like, am I going crazy? I mean, if there weren't other people around to tell you you're seeing what you think you're seeing, you'd think you were a real basket case. This basket officially opened up in December of 1997, through the doors down there, not through the top, sadly, and was owned and constructed by a company called Longaberger, as you can see up there, who made picnic tables. No, I'm just kidding. They made baskets, and this is a replica of one of their basket models, apparently. Now, I don't know a lot about baskets, but I have seen and heard of this basket before in photos and online. I definitely thought, well, one day I'll go by and pay the world's largest basket a visit for sure. I didn't think it would happen on this trip, even though I knew I was passing nearby, because I pass a lot of world's largest when I'm really in a hurry to get from one place to another. So I kind of intentionally was cruising down the highway behind it just to get a glimpse, you know, for myself. But when I saw how absolutely gargantuan this thing was, I said, hey, Julio, we gotta go see that picnic basket. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the basket might be the biggest thing shaped like a thing I have ever seen in my life. It's called programmatic architecture. It basically just means buildings shaped like other things. Now, when he brought his crazy plan to life, Dave Longaberger, the founder of the company, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly there, Dave, must have thought, oh yeah, you know, the bottom can never go out of this basket. I mean, this market, the basket craze is gonna last through the ages, and Longaberger's giant basket will last through time. But apparently, as one article put it on Roadside America, the party basket craze did not last, and only 20 years later, the building was sold to developers. They stopped using this HQ in 2016, and only 2 years later, apparently, the company went completely bankrupt. So that means for about 5-6 years, the basket has been abandoned. Which I guess means it holds 2 records now, right? The largest basket in the world and the largest abandoned basket in the world. Crazy. Well, not totally abandoned. Some developers did buy it. From what I understand, at one point there was talk of tearing the building down, using it for something else, maybe redecorating it on the outside a little bit, but locals protested, and I'm assuming so did crazy basket weaving fans. And I believe the current plan is to turn the giant basket into a hotel. Oh, that would be sweet. You guys don't even know. I would pay to stay in a giant basket hotel, believe me. Maybe it's somehow from cartoons or something, but I always picture baskets as being like a thing for crazy people to weave. You know, if they're in a padded cell or have a straitjacket on. I must have got that from cartoons. Something that bears and Jellystone really like to steal because of the tasty contents inside. In fact, I can almost smell the fried chicken. I gotta be honest, I never really thought about companies having to make baskets and people having to work at basket companies, and really excited CEOs owning basket companies and be like, yeah, dude, we're gonna build a giant basket HQ. People are going to love it. We're gonna sell more baskets than ever before. We're gonna take them at a whole new door. I'm not kidding you. This is one of the wildest things I've ever laid my eyes on. There's just something about it. You have to actually back way, way up from the building to see how huge those handles are. And look at how tiny those cars look on the highway next to it. Look how much tinier they are when they're right up close to the back of it. This thing is huge. It doesn't even look 7 stories tall at first, just because it's so squat and in the shape of a basket, and your brain isn't used to that being so big. But I'm pretty sure you could feed the whole state of Texas a picnic out of that thing. It is absolutely enormous. I mean, look how tiny the van looks pulled up to the front of this thing. Oh man, I am inspired to have a picnic right now. What do you think, Julio? You could definitely fit all your eggs in that basket. I guess there's really not that much more to say about the world's largest basket, other than I wish the hotel was open right now. I'm pretty tired from driving all day. And we are now, yes, in case I forgot to mention it, in Ohio, just a little ways east of Columbus, in the town of Newark, I believe. I don't know how far I'll go tonight. All I know is I gotta get up early in the morning either way and keep on trucking. So I'd better split now. But the idea that this is gonna be a hotel is pretty tantalizing. It makes me really wish I could just spend the night in the basket tonight. But I guess it'll have to wait. We won't be full basket cases just yet. Now I got the song stuck in my head too, right? Do you have the time? Right on, right. Another reason to leave. Just about 30 seconds ago, I found a huge, very weird, unfamiliar looking spider on me from going through the cobwebs near the side entrance to that basket. So that tempered my excitement a little bit, but no, seriously, there's no better way to start off than with a bang like that. Well, it turns out we just can't get away from baskets, because I just found out that 15 minutes or so away from where we just were stands the original headquarters of the basket company in this, the little cute town of Dresden. I mean, seriously, it is like ridiculously cute. Those shops over there say Longaberger on the window. And you know what? In fact, when I was driving into town, I noticed there was a Dave Longaberger Avenue. They must really love that family here, which is why, perhaps, they left this standing near the former headquarters of the basket company, the world's actual largest basket. It's 48 feet long, 11 feet wide, and 23 feet tall. To the handle, I'm assuming, because the basket part doesn't look like 4 alleys to me. It took 2,000 employee hours of work to complete, according to this sign over here, which is a lot. That's a lot of manpower. That is wild. I don't see any doors on it anywhere. Just an extension cord sticking out of it, presumably for Christmas lights, maybe something like that. So I don't know if you were ever meant to go inside of this basket. Yeah, it's still no doors. This thing is freaking huge, and would have blown my mind if I hadn't just seen a 7-story basket-shaped building, which of course is the world's largest basket-shaped building and thing that looks like a basket, but this is the actual world's largest basket itself. Look at that. What is that? Parade float stuff? What, somebody living down here? Pennywise? Ooh, this is Justin Scott reporting to you live from Dresden, Ohio, where we have found out that in fact the inside of the world's largest basket is terrifying. It looks a little murdery in there. What do you think? Back to you. Now, apparently Dresden is very proud of their basket heritage. There must still be a lot of basket nuts out here. Not only have they kept this thing in good repair, look at this over on the street corner. There are planters up and down the road shaped like baskets. Not only this, looking at all the little cute shops in the town, there are several which sell baskets. There's even a Christmas store here, which is shut at the moment, but I could see through the window basket-shaped Christmas trees, or Christmas tree-shaped baskets. There seem to be baskets everywhere in this town. Oh my gosh, more baskets! In fact, around the corner where I parked the van is, you guessed it, another basket shop. They are seriously everywhere here. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Does that license plate actually say basket case? If you're interested in baskets at all, even a little, Dresden, Ohio is the place for you. I kind of feel awkward admitting this in this particular town, but I actually had to ban Allie from buying baskets. There was this little time period where she was kind of basket crazy, picnic baskets and little baskets to put things into. Our house was like full of baskets. We had to get rid of so many baskets, and she agreed, okay, no more baskets. Somehow I have to make sure she never hears of this place. I also remember a long time ago, before I gave up live streaming, decided it really wasn't for me. And I don't know why this was so funny, and I'll never forget this. Original Tyler and I were doing a little Periscope live stream, something like that. And somebody randomly in the comments, I can't remember what we were talking about, but it definitely wasn't this. You know, we were just answering questions and such, like, just wrote, I can do baskets. And we almost died laughing. Every once in a while, when I just can't think of anything to say to someone when they say something to me, I'm so tempted to just answer, I can do baskets. It just reminded me of the I Like Turtles kid, you know? We're sort of our own private version of that, you know? So the next time somebody asks you a question and you don't quite know what to say, or there's a weird, awkward silence, just randomly fire up, I can do baskets. Ah, crikey, would you look at the size of that basket? Look at the tightness of the weave. That's impressive. Got a terrible feeling that one day I'll have to bring Allie here. That someday, somehow, even though Dresden, Ohio is sort of kind of in the middle of nowhere-ish, unless you're a basket fan, of course, I'm going to have her with me and bring her here somehow. Just a feeling. Hope it's not a prophecy, but if it is, Maybe when the old Basket Motel opens up, right? You could stay in that basket, visit this basket, have a game of basketball, go basket shopping, drive around in the basket case car over there.
It'll be glorious, friends. Glorious.
For now, though, I don't think there's anything left that I can do, particularly in Dresden. So I think this is when we finally bounce, find some shelter for the night. I'll catch up with you guys down the road. All right, so I've woken up here again in Ohio. It's gonna be raining on and off all day today. So, since it's unlikely we're gonna get anything else done today, I decided to do something I normally don't make any time for on road trips, but I've been desperate to turn over a new leaf about, and that is visit some more natural wonders. There was actually a picture in the hotel of a waterfall, something we don't have very many of in Southern California. And I was like, that's gotta be around here, right? So I went and asked the front desk waiter. They're like, yeah, it's right in Columbus. So I've come up just, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes away from where I was sleeping. And look at this. Wow. Now, I mean, most of the country looks like this. Green, lush water. But not in the West. In the West, where I'm from, something like this would be packed densely with tourists every day of the year. This is beautiful. If I remember correctly, this place is called Hayden Falls Park. And supposedly, when we get to the end of this, we'll see a waterfall. You can't see it, but there's a big river just out past those trees that this is all emptying out into. And on either side of where you come down here, there are houses lining that big river. So this is just a tiny little nature preserve packed into a city. If it wasn't for the sound of the highway behind me, I would think I was in the middle of nowhere, because you can't see anything from down in this sort of little canyon. It's beautiful. It must be incredible in the fall. I believe this little creek here is called Hayden Run, and the big river it's emptying out to is called the Scioto River, if I'm correct. That's one downside whenever I'm traveling to regions I haven't spent a lot of time in. There's lots of rivers and things where you'd think the pronunciation was straightforward, and it turns out you're supposed to pronounce it weird. Like in California, we have Mono Lake, but it looks like mono, M-O-N-O. Anyway, I should shut up now that the water sound is getting louder. And let you guys experience a little of the atmosphere. Wow, it's so lush and green out here. The great thing about this is only a 5-minute walk, maybe, from where you park your car. And I can already see the waterfall through the trees. Oh, wow. Dude, look at this. That is a ton of water coming over that little tiny waterfall. So much so that it's creating its own wind. Just like Niagara Falls, there is mist everywhere. Wow. That is glorious. I remember as a kid going to Niagara Falls with my family, and every time you go there, it is so loud and so misty because those falls are so huge that everybody everywhere is wearing ponchos, even like quite a ways away from the fall. You can't hear anything. It is incredible that that little creek's worth of water can do all that. Look at the size of it. The majesty, the power. That is beautiful and loud and amazing. Like I say, this is a rare sight for me. Not only do we not have much water where I'm from, in a more arid region of the country, but I usually don't take the time to stop and see natural wonders in the United States, particularly the small, unknown ones like this. I think it's because mainly I read so much history and I'm thinking about history, and I always want to visit historical sites and quirky roadside attractions that I never got to stop and see when I was on tour with my band all those years ago. But speaking of history, there is one historical thing here. Look at this. A Super S at a waterfall. Not to promote vandalism, but it's the perfect compliment to the scenery. I just found out from some passersby that that waterfall is 30 feet high. And I was explaining that even in Yosemite, most of the few water features we have at home, even some of the ones in Oregon, will dry up significantly, if not completely, in the summertime. So I was really stoked, and I'm sure the rain this morning helped this, to see that river, or this little creek here, in full bloom. I kind of just want to stay here all day now. Something about that is so fantastic. But I guess it's time to let other people have their moment of glory with Hayden Falls. I actually do watch quite a few nature travel videos on YouTube. But even though I like doing stuff by myself, and sometimes I'll go hiking, camping by myself, I typically like to share nature with at least one or two other people. I think that's why I don't do it on a lot of my road trips. I promised myself I would make more of an effort, a promise I completely forgot about until this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go see that waterfall. Is it close? Luckily, in just a couple of days, London will be joining me on this trip for the rest of the drive home, which is why I'm in such a hurry to get to where I'm going to go pick him up. But hopefully that'll give me a little more motivation to stop and smell the leaves every once in a while. Man, how cool is this catwalk here, which is just right in the creek leading out to the river. There's a few stairs you got to come down to get down here, but other than that, pretty much a totally flat walk. All right, time to hit the road before we're eaten alive by mosquitoes. Now, if the weather holds out, I'll have just enough time to see something pretty epic before I pick the boy up. If I'm gonna have any time to film anything between now and then, I'm gonna have to get on the road and hurry. And that means I'm gonna have to leave you guys here in Columbus, Ohio for the moment. However, there's still one more thing around the corner we have got to look at. I thought I was done filming and just ready to drive straight to my next destination, but no, just kidding. Because how could I not stop at Cornhenge? What in the world? There are 109 of these at least 6 foot tall corn cobs out here with all the kernels still on them, ready to eat. And would you just look at the size of this massive field of concrete cobs. The hills are alive with the sound of popcorn. Ah! Apparently this is all some kind of really wild tribute to a guy named Sam France, the inventor of hybrid corns, who used to farm here on this ground from 1935 to 63 and created mutant strains of corn here. Because obviously the only thing better than regular sweet corn is mutant sweet corn.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Sweet Corn.
I found this information out from these little plaques here in the tree line. This one I've never seen or heard of before. I was just driving my van up that road out there, and out to the left, all I see is 109 giant concrete corn cobs. Well, obviously, there was no way I wasn't gonna stop and squeeze this one last spot into this adventure, especially since Allie, my fiance, she loves corn. If there's some little thing that looks like corn, she'll be like, oh, cute. She thinks corn is cute, which is so cute. Giant baskets, fields of corn. I think Allie would love Ohio. But as much as I love it, I'm gonna have to hug some of this corn goodbye and hit the road now for real. Make sure and check out the links below and all that stuff, and you'll have done your duty. I, for now, have done all I can, so I've done my duty too. Time to go home and sleep well. See you next time, guys. And until then, don't forget the butter and salt. I probably shouldn't have filmed this place. It's just way too corny. I can do baskets. I can do baskets. I can do baskets. One of those will work. I caught a glimpse of this 7-story.
Remember to subscribe and check if you're still subscribed, because YouTube is weird, and ring that bell if you don't want to miss adventures. Also, we have merch and other things. I hate talking about it, so I decided to sing. So please look at that stuff, my friends. That's how these videos stay free. Also, we have patreon.com with lots of things for you in the links below in the description, and over 1,000 other episodes to watch. Go home, sleep well.